This is the B&B, the Source in the Vales, where we stayed for the evening. And this is Andy, who kindly gave us a lift back to the airfield.
Come on, we're going to go in the car.
And this is Percy, who loves a little trip in the car and enjoys his flight.
You ready?
You're already in, are you, Percy? You ready? Ready to go, are you, Percy?
A little bit nervous on this takeoff. It's 620 metres and we're doing a short field takeoff. This is the second short field we've done in this plane. So this is our first short field takeoff with his aircraft when it's fully loaded. So it can do full tanks, 350 kilograms. We was on tabs and we were weighted at about 270 kilos. On discussions with different flight instructors about short field takeoffs, they've moved away from full power on the brakes and then release. For short field takeoffs, it's recommended now to do a rolling start, because when you do the full power, it acts like the wash of a boat and you don't get the power that you require. So this is our run up. It's 610 metres, this grass airfield. As I say, we're fully loaded, we're on tabs, and this aircraft takes off around about 380 metres. So it climbs nicely into the air, and very pleased with the performance of this little Cherokee. And Percy sitting back there, he's enjoying the view.
That's the town that we stayed in, Vales in Liberty. We had a really lovely stay. There was a really nice restaurant, and we'd definitely go back there again.
And you can see we're now in the sort of Bordeaux region, and the weather is a lot clearer than the UK now. This is winter flying in sort of southern Europe, and most of the time it's VFR.
It's actually October, to be precise.
So this is the main river that goes into Bordeaux, and what we're doing is we're heading to the coast now to do a direct route across the Bay of Biscay into Santander.
The sea was lovely in the car. It was a nice smooth flight.
And Ruth actually saw a whale while we were flying in. Rather than doing up and over the clouds, the broken clouds, we went under the clouds. We're at about 3,000 feet here. And as we get into Santander, the weather's perfectly clear. And then you see the Bay of Biscay is like a pool table. Passed over a few ships, and as I say, that flight took about an hour 10 in the sea, and now we can see the coastline of Spain.
But we had our life jackets on, and Percy also had his new life jacket on. But the view coming into Santander is magnificent. You'll see in a second as we get closer. The approach to the runway is beautiful.
I recommend using Santander rather than Bilbao, because the last time I landed at Bilbao, they didn't have anybody in handling to deal with general aviation, and we landed at Bilbao and then we had to take off and then land at Santander. And all these places are well worth a visit if you ever come down to southern Spain to do some time building.
So we're just coming in, just on the other side of the water is the runway.
And with all these airfields at the moment, they're not getting very much commercial traffic, and the airports are pretty much closed. So it's a good idea to phone up the flight planning offices beforehand to tell them you're coming in. They also receive your flight plan, because in Spain it's mandatory that you file a flight plan for every flight.
And how much was the landing fee here?
Landing fee across Spain is usually €19, and most of the airfields that you land at are these tarmac fields. There's very few grass or small GA airfields in Spain. Handling fee in Spain is mandatory and is usually done by Iberia, and is €9.99. There are places where Iberia don't do the handling, such as Ibiza, and the handling there is €140. That's a popular destination for our time builders when they're flying in Spain. This is us doing a climbing turn to reach our altitude to easily climb across the Pyrenees. The area that we climb through the Pyrenees, the highest mountain is around about 4,000. So we try and, or we cross them at 6,000 feet.
I think it was 7 actually.
But we climbed to 7. The weather was good enough, we climbed to 7.5. Once you're over the Pyrenees, you're then into the flats of Spain. And this is Valladolid, I think they pronounce it as that, as an airfield. We land because of the Cherokee, and it's got 500 miles or 500 nautical miles range on it. We do precautionary stops, pick up fuel. The next leg to Trebujena, I think, is about 3.5 hours. The thing in Spain as well is it's best to get a BP aviation card, because they don't like taking debit cards, so it's cash or an aviation card.
These are all mountains. What mountains are these?
These are mountains just outside of Madrid.
These are pretty, these ones.
And again, the weather's really clear, and the further you get south, the warmer it gets. And say Percy sleeps most of the journey. This was the longest leg that we do. I say it's 3.5 hours, and as you know, you're getting closer to home. It's one of those flights that drags. The last hour, I think, drags the most. As soon as you pick up Seville, and you know you're nearly home. And this is back at home, and that's the stuff that we're carrying, and we got back just in time for the airfield to close. Our good friend Steve Jarvis picked us up from the airfield, and his lovely wife Julie made us dinner that we just needed to heat up in the microwave when we get home.